All right, Mpumalanga Premier Refilwe Mtshweni-Tsipane says she will take appropriate action against a murder-accused MEC once he appears in court. He's due in court tomorrow, in fact. The MEC allegedly involved in a shooting that ended with 2 people dead and a 3rd wounded. This happened in August. He is the 3rd person to be arrested. 2 other people have already received bail. He's expected to face murder and attempted murder charges in the Nelspruit Magistrates Court. Our reporter Lindokuhle Xulu joins me now from Middelburg. Lindo, what can you tell us about this incident? What actually happened?
Well, Sally, we understand that this incident is an incident that happened on the 22nd of August, where the said MEC, we understand at the moment he is a 45-year-old MEC, not identified, obviously, because he hasn't appeared for the first time in court. So the 45-year-old MEC, we understand, is alleged to have been involved in a shooting, and that shooting is a shooting that caused 2 fatalities as well as 1 injury. So we understand that he will be charged with attempted murder as well as murder. But I can tell you that what we understand at this stage is that he handed himself over with his lawyers today, and he's set to appear tomorrow at Nelspruit in court. But I just want to bring in the Premier, Sally, someone who can give us perhaps some clarity, the Premier of Mpumalanga, in terms of what exactly has happened. Mama, thank you so much for joining us. Certainly troubling news in terms of one of your members of the Executive Council having been alleged to have been involved in such an incident. What can you tell us about some of the details you've been able to find?
Thank you very much, Lindo, for an opportunity. Certainly, the information we are receiving with the heavy hearts, as we ordinarily would not have expected such to happen. Indeed, we can confirm that one of the members of the Executive Council he's been held in custody as we speak, for him to appear tomorrow before the local magistrate court. Now, what the briefing that we have received is that he is going to be charged with 2 counts of murder and 1 count of attempted murder. We will then have to wait until his appearance tomorrow in court, and subject to that, we will then decide what should be the way forward in that regard. But also suffice to say that we need to support the judiciary system, and then we will adhere to whatever action that needs to be taken in this regard. At the same time, we are saying that he will remain innocent until proven otherwise. Yes.
That notion of saying that he will remain innocent until proven otherwise, yes, certainly it does apply in our judiciary. But also at the same time, in the realm of some of the policies of the ANC, it says that some members who are facing allegations are expected to step down, as we've seen even in the NEC. What happens in terms of him being an MEC? What can you tell us about that in terms of the repercussions to follow?
Well, we must indicate that we are the government of the African National Congress. Obviously, if such information reaches us, we will discuss amongst us. As I can tell you at this point in time, the official meeting was set to sit this evening, and possibly tomorrow we might have an agent, special PEC, to look at the matter. Of course, as the African National Congress, during our conference, we have taken a resolution that any member who is implicated in any form of be it corruption or what's the other thing, crime, will then have to be recused from his position, be it government position or ANC position.
That's what has happened here.
No, what is going to happen, I'm still trying to unpack it. Now, at this point in time, these are news that we've just received this morning, and we are in the process. Hence, I'm saying that the official will meet this evening, and tomorrow the special PEC will sit. Obviously, I will be in discussion yet again with the official in the evening so that we chant a way forward. And of course, we have agreed that anyone who is alleged to be involved in crime or corruption or whatever the case might be will be recused for him or her to go through those processes until they are seen up to the end. And once the final decision has been taken by the judiciary, and subject to that, the ANC will also then respect the rule of law. Either if you are found guilty, you will then have to relinquish your position at that point in time. And if you are not found guilty, you will have to be reinstated in your position. Obviously, in this case, the same rule will apply in line with the policy position of the African National Congress, that of step aside.
You speak about the fact that this is a policy that was adopted in conference to say that those who face serious allegations must in fact step aside. But at the same time, you are saying that there needs to be a special meeting with some of your members of the council. What is it exactly that needs to be discussed? Because there is a person here who is facing serious allegations of murder and attempted murder. And why is it that you cannot pronounce now that that person has indeed stepped aside or has been made to step aside from their position?
Well, remember, when we received the news, he already handed himself in today, now at the local police station. Now, we've not had an opportunity to speak to him as yet, but we did get the confirmation from the police. Now, as ANC, how things works, we need to sit down and officially announce ourselves in that regard. Whenever, if he is going to get the bail tomorrow, obviously there will be an urgent meeting that is held between himself and the African National Congress to discuss the matter and give him the outcome, or rather the decision of the African National Congress. And on the same vein, the very same principle will apply to us as government, to say that as a premier, I still have to sit with him and tell him of the decision that we shall have taken for implementation. And he will obviously have to adhere to the principles and the policies of the organization.
All right, Premier, I think I'm afraid we are out of time right now, but just one more question for me, pushing it from my side. The issue of political violence is currently happening as much as we get closer to those elections. But what is the message, and what are some of the things that the province is doing to ensure that this does not perpetuate? Because we've seen a number of them, and there was a report of some incidents in Witbank as well around shootings. But give us a sense of what really is a message to those that would be turning to violence during this time of elections.
Well, as African National Congress, we want to condemn the violence that is happening, the shooting and the killing, whether we term it politically or as a result of the crime that is generally engulfing our province and also our country. We condemn that in the strongest term it deserves. It's something that cannot be condoned. And at all times we are saying, let the law take its course when such incidences happen. No one has a right to take anyone's life. No one has a right to rob anyone. And therefore, if we don't condemn them such behavior, we will be perpetuating a lawless society, which ordinarily it's something that cannot be appreciated by anybody else. And that seeks to undermine as well our economy, because it will discourage the investors to come into our shores to invest, because they will not be certain as to whether their business will be operating optimally as a result of the crime levels that we are encountering. And we want to appeal and urge our communities to cooperate and with the justice system in this regard. Let us respect the rule of law. The MEC will be appearing in his personality. He will have an opportunity to cite his case, and based on the merits and the demerits of the case, and the law will then pronounce itself.
Thank you so much, Premier. That is the Premier of the province of Mpumalanga, Refilwe Mtshweni-Tsipane, giving us a sense of some of the details they understand, but essentially confirming that the MEC, said MEC, is in custody. We cannot name him at this stage because he still hasn't appeared in court. That appearance is set to happen tomorrow, Sally.
Lindo, do we know anything about a possible motive for this killing? And do we have the identities of the people that were killed?
Well, we don't know about the motive, Sally, and like I said, this is an incident that happened on the 22nd of August. At the moment, I can just personally say that the people that are known at this stage in terms of being involved in this are those suspects that have since been let out on bail, that have since been released on bail, 20,000 each as far as we understand. But we're still not sure, and this is something that we'll be looking to investigate ourselves in terms of who are exactly the faces of those people that have been killed and also that have been injured in this incident. But in terms of the motive, not clear as yet. We will expect to hear some details tomorrow when the MEC, the said MEC, is expected to apply for bail, which will mean that we will be able to name him and we'll be able to hear what he will say, particularly because the expectation is that he will be trying to apply for bail.
Yeah, very serious charges that he is facing. Thank you very much for telling us what we know so far. That's our reporter Lindokuhle Xulu coming to us live from Middelburg in Mpumalanga.